yes, 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 yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
Feel incredible!
It's not a cartoon. It's anime. Yes! Welcome to another episode of Animeshun. 3/4 of the squad is in the building.
No hoe ass, bitch ass,
Punk ass.
Brennan bitch.
Bitch ass Brennan is not here. I'm just getting in from the airport. I'm gonna be tired.
I have more than enough time to get there, but I can't make it.
My back.
We could have recorded in fucking LAX and his ass still wouldn't have been there.
All I'm saying is there's been multiple times where I got back on Monday from, whatever, flying from somewhere, and I came straight to the podcast because I love you guys.
Appreciate you, Keenan.
But Brandon, on the other hand,
A hoe ass.
I don't know how much he loves you. I'm going to question his love for you guys on this podcast, and he can't defend himself.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
And he's most likely not going to
At
even
all.
watch this unless somebody tells him. He's not going to even know this is even being said about him because he doesn't watch the podcast. He doesn't listen to the podcast, and he's not even on the podcast.
That's funny.
I will say I did listen to the podcast from last week.
Yeah.
I did listen to it,
Yeah.
and I will say you were right about something.
What?
I went pretty hard on Chainsaw Man and still gave it a pretty good score.
Yeah.
So I'm going to amend it. I'm going to knock a solid K off of that.
Damn.
Whoa!
6,000.
That's sick. You can't. There's no amendments. What's done is done.
6,000.
It's on record.
What?
It's on record. I just went through this media training exercise thing, and they said if it's on record, it's on record, and there's no
Well,
amendments.
this is on record too. 6,000. Where's my camera? 6,000.
We call Rob out. That's why I like when Rob, because Rob would definitely listen to the podcast and be like, all right, let's see if they said some bullshit about me. Let's see if they said some shit. He come out like, I heard the fuck you said on that last
Yeah.
podcast.
And we was talking shit too. We was talking shit about.
You were.
How
yeah.
did you feel about the recaps?
They made me laugh. No, they were good. They were
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I told him I didn't have enough time to do my actual real week cap, like write my own.
Yeah.
So I had to get it off online. And,
Oh, okay.
And that's why I was reading a lot of it.
It did make me laugh when Ice was just like, I got this game.
Well, he wanted. I know. I feel like too. He wanted to do Bleach because, as a Bleach person, and then
For sure. And then I know, just because I knew
And he wanted to go, explosions, fire. He wanted to be extra animated with it, and I was going through. And
He was like,
for that
yeah, and then,
particular one, I was going to give more emotion anyways when it got to the shits because
sure.
Chainsaw Man was good, but then Bleach has been on fire.
Bleach has been on fire, but you were talking about Aki and you called him, I think, his other name.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you were just like, you picked the harder name versus like Aki.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
it's just Aki, man.
I was like, it's Aki, man.
All right, man, but you know what we doing here? We talk about shit. We do one-off. We do recap. We do a whole bunch of other shit.
It says, hoe ass, bitch ass Brennan ain't here. I ain't even got to sneak on his bitch ass, punk ass little ears either. So, you're either listening or watching or subscribing to, and shout out to our Patreon people, whatever it is, you now are tuned into the greatest fucking anime podcast in the entire world.
All right, man. Yeah, you know what we do on here, man. Join that Patreon, patreon.com/animeshun.
And shout out to the greatest fucking anime Patreon
Indeed.
in the entire world.
Patreon.com/animeshun. Once again, SHUN. Join that. Subscribers are going up weekly. We thank y'all. We appreciate y'all for hanging in there with us and always, rocking with us on this. And this week as we always do, recently we've been recapping two animes, and this week again we are doing Mob Psycho and continuing with My Hero Academia. But first, of course, we have a poll for you guys. What is the poll? Is this Ice's poll again or Rob's?
This is me.
This is
I'm
Ice.
probably going to rock out the rest of the year. Give my man Rob a break. He been
Please
going
do.
so hard in the recap paint. Bars. I can at least handle the verses pose for him at least. this week we was in the holiday spirit, so to speak.
Indeed.
Indigenous Peoples Day, Turkey Day, however you want to, say. It's a lot of eating going on. It's a lot of eating. It's a lot of family get-togethering
I'm still
going
in a
on.
coma.
And in light of that, we had a poll. So it's called "Who's Coming to Dinner?" We had 6 people, 6 anime characters that are known for eating, coming to your crib on Turkey Day. And we said, who do you want? Who do you want out of these 6 people? But the extra part of this is they're not only eating with you, they're spending the entire day with you. So these are the 6 people. We have Sasha from Attack on Titan, the meat lover herself.
That's so.
That's it. All right.
We have Luffy.
Continue.
We have Luffy from One Piece. We have the probably the most eatenest anime character ever, Goku. We have Akame, who has a very low key but very crazy appetite. Kame from Akame got killed. We have Mr. Mai himself, Rengoku, and then we finish things off with our guy Naruto Uzumaki. So these 6 people, which of those people would you have dinner with on Thanksgiving, on those holidays? Again, spend the whole day with them. Spend the whole day with them. So they're going to be around your family. Some scenarios I gave. Will Luffy fight your drunk uncle? Will Goku throw the football too hard at your baby cousin and fuck his fingers up? Will Rengoku get cussed out by your auntie because he's loving the green so much? Your auntie like, what's up with that boy? Why he keep saying my? Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And why he keep yelling it?
All right, I say we give our opinions first, and then we get to the percentages of this.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Let's. I mean, you said Goku playing catch. I mean, he doesn't play catch with his own kids, so I don't think he's gonna be playing catch with anybody. So let's just get that out the way.
Up.
I don't.
Goku's eating 5 plates and he's out of there.
He's out of there, or he's passing out, going to sleep, or he's going to go train.
Going to
Yeah.
sleep. I can see that.
Yeah, he's sleeping or training, so he's not going to be much fun, in my personal opinion. After eating, I think he's going to be fun. If you're cooking, you're like, oh, this guy loves my food. I like that. I don't know much about a lot of the other characters on here that much. I would say Sasha, because Sasha's gonna be in the kitchen with you.
Yeah.
Sasha's gonna cook. She loves what? She loves cooking lobster, right? Or she loves eating lobster. What is it?
She definitely loves eating it, because
Yeah.
I don't remember her being much of a chef, but I guess she could have been.
The other dude is a chef. Her homeboy is
Well,
a chef.
scratch Sasha out the way.
Yeah,
But I
her-
do
No,
feel
yeah,
Sasha's
because-
going to eat off
Yeah.
of your plate.
Yeah. So the homie, the
Sasha's
dude,
not allowed anywhere near
Yeah.
Yeah.
anywhere.
the
near
other dude
dinner.
is the cook, and he cooked for
That's
her.
right. That's right. He cooked her. He wanted to cook her one of the best lobsters or whatever in
Yeah.
her life. But I would go with Rengoku, my personal opinion, because he's going to give you the compliments of how good your food is. I feel like he's not necessarily over the top like Goku is, with just eating off your plate, trying to pretty much clean your kitchen out. And I think he's going to compliment you guys on just like, this is a good home. You got like you said, the greens were good, the mash was good. Who cooked who made the potato salad? Even though it's just disgusting as fucking my personal opinion.
Facts right there.
And I
with
can
you.
see him, he has a good spirit. I can see him playing what you say. I can see him actually playing catch with somebody and playing with the kids, rolling around, fighting them, teaching them kind of sword techniques and stuff like that. So my personal opinion, I would pick Rengoku to come. I think he would fit in with the family and people would love him at the crib. My personal
And
opinion.
your family specifically.
Yeah, my family specifically, yes. I think they would. I think they'd be like, all right, man, you cool, man.
Yeah, I fuck with
Rengoku, man.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
What about you, Rob?
I'm with you. I would go with Rengoku out of these choices for sure. I mean, for a lot of the same reasons you said. I mean, I just think like so many of these people are just so. Like, you're right. I do feel like some people might get in a fight with like a family member. I feel like Rengoku's going to be very respectful. He's just like, I'm here to eat. Like, he can be a little loud, but like, I don't know. Sometimes that's a compliment to the chef, you know? So I would go with Rengoku. I think he's the, he's for me, the probably the clear winner, with like maybe Akame, because like everybody else like might cause a problem. I feel
How would Naruto cause a problem?
He might be third on my list, because I think of the rest of them, he's probably all right, but he's just so strong-headed. Like, if he got into a disagreement with somebody about whatever, or just
Like,
like,
yeah,
that's
just
the last
let it
roll.
or as
yeah.
clumsy as he is, he'll mess up something involved with it.
See,
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he knocks over the mac and cheese,
Like,
somebody
that
got to
would be
fight him,
somebody-
and then they can't beat him.
They can't
like
fight him.
No.
like,
How would since you watch One Piece, how would Luffy be a problem?
Luffy is similar in that regard, where he's just like and somebody else brought this up in the comments, and I thought this was good. The dude is a pirate. He's got no table manners.
Yeah.
He's gonna be just like making a mess, eating with his hands. He's just gonna. Everybody's, I think, gonna be looking at him just like, who brought this dude?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Rob's guy. That's your
it's
guy,
like,
Rob.
And I know my family gonna be like, yo, sit your ass at the kids' table. You're making a mess, and if you keep making a mess, you're gonna clean all this shit up too. And if he's one of the people that you say he'll fight you, I mean, I heard he got hands too. So
Right.
I don't need this fool beating up my aunt.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love Naruto, I think putting that aside, I mean, Rengoku's the guy. I think Akame would be cool, but she, black families, they love them, a quiet person just to roast them. But I don't know if Akame can handle the roasting. Like, girl, you eating a lot. You quiet, but you eating.
She would definitely be quiet. I think everybody would be like, "What's up with her?
What's
You
up
know?
with her? And
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
nobody to get a hold of her sword and kill themselves, like and prick themselves
Oh, yeah?
with the
Oh,
top
this is
of
nice.
Yeah,
This
just, you killed Archie, man. I think Sasha would be cool, but I think she'd be a little over the top, and then my family be like, all right, like she not eating none of the sides. Like, why she just eating all
Sasha
of the
is
meat?
out of control. She's like literally like been growling at people to get food away from them, and like she legitimately acts like an animal when it comes to food. I'm just like, Sasha,
And I just think
it's too out of control.
Did you
I
give
think
her a fried turkey for the first time?
it's over with. She's socking
It's
people out.
done.
She barehandedly grabbing it out of the grease.
Yeah.
And just like, and then also with Goku, man, I think he just gonna want to fight somebody. I think he gonna see one of my buff ass cousins pull up and then be like, "Oh, you buff? Like, come on, like let's
look
spar a little
strong."
bit." Like, yeah, you say you're strong, like,
Yeah.
and then he's socking out my cousin Larry, man. That's fucked up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Rengoku. I feel like just the savoring of his food. I think all households, but specifically black households, like that's one of the biggest forms of respect of like fucking with the food. And I think even him, after they get over him being audible about it, they be like, all right, like you showing us love. Yeah, it's kind of obnoxious, but like you showing us love, and I like you fucking with the greens. All right, we cool. So I do think, to Ken's point and to your point, I think post, because that's the bigger part of it, is like post meal. What are the interactions like? And I see like the kid maybe picking up his sword, and he be like, "Hey man, put that down, but let me show you a little stuff that you can take back to your homies and say that you learned and stuff like that."
Rengoku would be doing dishes afterwards.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I
mean, he
mean,
would definitely be helping
Yeah,
out.
he'll
in the
be
kitchen.
definitely
Like,
helping
"Can I-
out.
Can I help
Cleanup.
out? There's anything I can do? Everybody's gonna be like, yo, I'm not touching a damn thing.
Yeah, that's it. I came, I saw, I ate, I'm out.
Here's the thing. I think with Goku though, even with Goku, like if you get him in there, or if Chi-Chi's with him, and you be like, he needs to watch the dishes. He'd be like, Goku, get in there. You'd be like, oh man.
Yeah, no
He'll
way.
go in there and watch the dishes.
No, I think you made a good point. He'd be trying to size up who the best fighter at the dinner is, and then just
It's
trying
like
to
you
go
finish your
toe-to-toe.
food pretty fast, bro.
Yeah.
Like
You fight.
Yeah. So who?
So what did the numbers say?
Man, the numbers say it was close. It was close. Between Rengoku and Naruto, everybody else got washed. You had Sasha getting 8%, Luffy getting 8%, Akame getting 8%. Goku surprisingly got 13%. I feel like from the comments and what people were saying, just the manner in which he eats was the biggest thing why they wouldn't want to fuck with him. But Rengoku beat Naruto by 5%, 35-30. So it was close. It was close. And fuck you, Rob, because Naruto didn't win this poll. They weren't all the dick riders you talking about and stuff. Look at him. He lost to Rengoku.
Still got second place. I mean,
And you said he third. Who did you have second?
I had a comment.
Akame second. Okay, yeah. So Rengoku won, and I mean all three of us. It was unanimous amongst us. I feel like with Brennan, I feel like Brennan would have picked Rengoku. Cam, who would you pick?
Who am I picking?
Yeah.
I'd pick Rengoku.
Yeah, so I feel like
That's
it was a close one between Naruto and Rengoku, but Rengoku won. So shout out to the man Rengoku for being the person that's coming to dinner.
For the safety of our families.
Congratulations.
Rengoku,
Yeah,
'cause he's
for
the
the
only one
sake-
that's not going to squab up with everybody. All right, man. Thank you for that poll right there, Ice. And Rob, let's start off with episodes 7 through 8 of Mob Psycho. 'Cause I know Ice hasn't watched My Hero.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll get through the recap here. So, As the teachers start to notify the kids of their upcoming high school placement exams, Tomei realizes in a panic she and the telepathy club have not accomplished their goal of contacting aliens. She pleads with the members that, hey, after I graduate, you have to continue the mission. But after getting kind of a bunch of ho-hum responses, she disbands the club, leaving the other members just shocked. The 3 remaining boys of the telepathy club then reach out to Mob to see if he can connect them with any telepaths. They could, cheer up Tomei and maybe save the club. And Ritsu's with him, and he's just like, yeah, actually, I know a couple people, and he introduces them to the Shiratori brothers, who we met in season 1. But when they meet up with the brothers, they remind the group, hey, we can only really communicate with each other, but we can't put out a telepathic signal that should allow us to find other telepaths that may be more powerful. So they all head back to the school, and with help from Mob, they send out a boosted telepathic signal. But the only person who comes to the room is this guy, Takanaka, a former member of the telepathic club who left to join the tennis club. He mocks them all for, first wasting their time. But after they start the signal again, he yells at them for them to stop and admits that he's been a telepath all along. Takanaka tells them that he had a hard time controlling his powers growing up, and when he heard about the club, he thought he would be meeting fellow telepaths. Of course, he just met a bunch of time wasters and instead decided to quit. He demonstrates his powers to all of them, sending voices into their head, reading their minds, but says that, until he heard the noise, he thought, he had locked all his powers away. He reluctantly agrees to help the group summon aliens to cheer up Tomei, and their next call is to Reagan to see if he'll help them rent a car on New Year's Eve to drive up to a UFO hotspot. Because he's so bored and Serizawa is making new friends at adult school, he agrees. On New Year's Eve, the group meets up, and though Tomei is grumpy and doubts the whole thing, she joins them after all. And her mood only really gets worse, though, especially when she finds out, that they have to wait an hour for the telepath to show up. And it gets even worse when she finds out that it's Takanaka, thinking that they're all just playing some big, huge joke on her. Still, they meet up with Reagan and head off to Mount Mudboat to find some UFOs. On the way up the mountain, Inukawa explains that every 7 years on New Year's Eve, people spot UFOs around the mountain, and they are, due for another appearance that night. Still, Tomei isn't buying any of it, and the situation gets worse when Reagan accidentally hits a tree and the car breaks down. Before long, though, they are arguing over which way to walk, up or down the mountain. They soon get lost, and after wandering a while, they find the path again on top of the mountain. But Tomei wants to turn back and has a mini meltdown, scolding them all for carrying a little too little too late. Still, Mob offers to walk with her, and she perks up and agrees to finish the journey to the top. Once at the top of the mountain, none of them can remember the spell to summon the UFOs, and that's when Takanaka reveals he was late to the meetup because he had been studying the spell all night, and he shows them how to do it. After they try and it fails, he reveals he also learned that in his studying, the author of the book was a complete fraud, but figured, hey, it was worth a shot anyway since we made it all the way up here. Tomei apologizes to all of them for wasting their time, but at this point, Reagan, makes a speech. These are the times and memories of their youth that they'll remember forever, So at the sunset, Mob says, we'll do one last reach out to space with his power one last time and see what happens. And they send out their message. And just as they're about to leave, a ship with several aliens show up. And Tomei nervously introduces herself to the aliens, but it turns out they are super chill. They invite the group up to their spaceship. Inside, it turns out the aliens are a lot like the telepathy club. And the group spends New Year's Eve hanging out, playing games, and exchanging gifts. The students and Reagan thank the aliens for showing them something they'll never forget and head back, only to realize the aliens kept Inukawa. Over credits, Inukawa describes how he was taken to the alien planet and ate crazy food that made him strip and party. He defeated the aliens' greatest enemy, and he became a hero to all of them, and seemingly even winning the love of their queen or princess or somebody. However, he missed his life on Earth, asked them to bring him back, and when he landed, he started to lose all his memories of his time with the aliens, returning to being a normal Japanese junior high school student. And that was episodes 7 and 8 of Mob Psycho.
Thank you, Rob, for not. I'm not snoozing
I know.
at your
I
recap.
know.
I'm not snoozing your recap at all respect. But goddamn, James Russell, that shit was Mob Psycho.
James
man.
Russell.
Yeah, from what's it called? Money Talks.
Yeah.
Goddamn, James Russell, you one hustling son of a bitch.
Big Damone Jr.
Big Damone Jr. Let me tell you something, man. We're gonna go through these questions of Mob Psycho. Yeah, this is not making a good case for me to go back and watch season 2.
No,
Yeah,
Kino, you don't understand that already happened. It's been watched. That doesn't make any sense.
that does not make any sense.
Hey, man. Hey, you ain't gonna jump down my throat, man. Pause. Yeah,
Hey,
Jesus
yo.
Christ. All right, let's go to the first question, Rob. Shit. Last episode, we talked about dreams not living up to expectations. Have you ever reached a goal or a dream and it was just as good as you imagined, Rob.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit pre-show, but sorry to Ice because I know he was looking to get this game this weekend. But like, man, when Shredder's Revenge, when that was announced, I was like, oh my god, this game is everything I've been wanting. I want this Ninja Turtles like nostalgia throwback. It was everything I wanted it to be. It was everything, man. It was just like the game was great.
Yeah,
as
it
Cam
was.
said, my only complaint. Not long enough because I just went back and I just like maxed out all the characters on it. I played it over and over again. I might play that shit tonight.
You played it on hard, the hardest one?
I did play it a little bit on hard and it was very difficult.
It's very difficult on hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is absolutely something that lived up to the expectations. The other part is like if you're a fan of a sports team and they win the championship, it's great.
Yeah.
That 2003 Syracuse championship, I will be chasing that dragon the rest of my life.
That's fact.
It-
Y'all out
it-
here slapping people in the face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not playing games apparently.
Man, how was that feeling when y'all won? How did you feel when y'all won that year in 03?
Oh, it was crazy because like my parents, my mom works for the university. My dad had done some work for the university. We're in the town. It's like it's tough to describe to people not from there. Like that, like the whole city it's like watches it. Like,
Gotcha,
like
gotcha.
it's like a pro team because there's just there in upstate. Like I'm gonna get-
most of Syracuse, the city, is the Syracuse University. Is
Yeah.
the actual university.
Yeah.
Got you.
So like seeing that even was just like I remember just being like, oh man, like we're ranked and being excited about that when I was a kid. And then just for them to do it, I remember like watch because they had a close call in '87 where they lost on like a dagger 3 from Indiana. They had lost in '96. And I remember falling asleep during that game and waking up and be like, are we winning? And they were just like, go back to bed. Go back to bed. It's not happening. And so when that happened, I remember watching and just being like, man, Melo's great. Jerry McNamara's great. Like, I remember telling my dad, like, especially after we beat Texas, which we were not supposed to win, I was like, they could do this. My dad was like, I don't know. But like the whole city, it felt like it was just like going nuts for it. My parents were psyched.
Yeah.
Like they were so happy.
Were the
like,
guys out and about at any point during
like
this
they
time?
did they did a parade.
Yeah,
If
well,
that's
not
what
the
you mean.
parade, but like throughout the season, would you be somewhere and one of those guys?
I rode a bus with Jerry McNamara and Matt Gorman after like we saw a football game, but that was before the season had even started.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
And so like I was like, oh yeah, like I think those guys are on the team this year. And then like Jerry McNamara would go on to be like one of the best 3-point shooters we've had at the school.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, people they'd be out and about, and like it's. I mean, I definitely still pay attention to the team, and I watch the games, and like I listen to some of the former players talk about it, and even there, you're just like, it's different in Syracuse. Like, we talk to other college players that played in other towns, and it's just like the connection just the players have with each other, and just like with the city, it's just like if you like played there ever, and you go back, people be like, I remember watching you play. Like you did this, that, and the other. Like it's definitely like a town that remembers that kind of stuff. Yeah,
I feel like for college sports in general, when the sport is pretty much the city,
like
the
Alabama.
town, whatever. It's just like my brother when he went to UF. It's like Gainesville. UF is Gainesville.
Sure. Especially when it comes to like football in the South.
Yeah.
Oh
my
Like,
God.
like the Alabamas and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
Alabama doesn't have any
LSU,
pro teams at all. They have zero pro teams in the whole
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
So Alabama is
Yeah.
light.
Alabama
Nebraska,
football.
same way.
Same
Yeah.
way. So
Yeah.
it's just like for stuff like that, it's like it means everything. Whereas out here, when SC was doing everything with Reggie Bush, even though I was back and forth between Alabama State and here, it was like the energy was here, but it wasn't as like I'm sure if that was taking place in Syracuse or taking place in Florida, like Florida or Texas somewhere, and Reggie Bush was on one of those teams doing that shit, it would have been the most incredible thing. The city would have been electrifying. Now they were stars here for sure, but it wasn't that energy.
Because like if the Knicks won a championship, I don't think anybody in Syracuse would give a fuck.
Really?
No.
Damn.
I don't remember seeing much like Knicks or Brooklyn. I mean, well, I guess Brooklyn wasn't Brooklyn then.
Yeah,
but
New
like
Jersey.
the NBA teams don't really have much pull in upstate. It's from my experience, it's all about like Syracuse basketball.
Really?
And it was weird moving somewhere and being like, oh, it's not like that in
Yeah.
other places. You know what I mean?
Do the Rangers get love in Syracuse?
Like the hockey team?
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
I would think so.
Yeah, like because it definitely like we have like a AAA hockey team and like
Yeah.
people are into that.
Okay. Ice.
For me, I mean, it was a couple things. I think freshman year of college was like everything that I like growing up, hearing the stories, watching stuff. It was just like playing sports. And everybody's saying, when you get to college, it's gonna be like this. When you get to college, it's gonna be like this, this, and this. You're gonna have freedom. You're gonna have bitches. You're gonna have be able to play sports. You're gonna be able to compete. You're gonna be able to travel. It's just like even, being from where I came from, we travel somewhat in high school, but like in college, especially sports, you traveling. Like you going wherever. It's like close your eyes, somewhere in America, you gonna go there. And that's where like to the bulk of the traveling I did was in college and stuff.
Sure.
So I think, just to be able to do that and have fun and then come back to class and wear the athlete stuff and like that was such a dope ass experience. Freshman year specifically, it was just dope, and it definitely lived up to that. It was more. It was actually more. It was. I was broke, but it was just fun though. Like it was just like I was thugging, but like at the same time, it was just hella fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to choose between a few different things. I was going to choose between like a movie, but I'll just do comedy. I mean, killing on stage when people tell you how it is, like I said, like I still don't know how it is to do like a real drug, like cocaine or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But when I hear about doing like people tell you like the rush of like killing on a show, it's like they say it's the same kind of feeling of like if doing cocaine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if
Dopamine
this is
levels.
how cocaine feels, it was like I can see how somebody can be addicted to that type of high.
Sure.
Because it's like I can't. Anytime I have a really, really, really good show like that, I come home and I can't sleep. It don't matter if it's like 3 a.m. I cannot. I'm buzzing.
Sure.
You're replaying shit. You're like, yo, I was like having like an out of body experience. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
You're in the zone.
And people tell you about it, and then you be like, oh, I had a good show, and then when you fucking actually murder. It's different than having a good show.
And then after people coming to you after, because that was one I figured you was gonna do that, that's why I ain't say it. But like that was the same. Like having that. It's the after. The after when people just like, man, I never seen you a day before in my life, but like you got a fan for life. Like when they just say shit like that, and you just like, thank you, man, and then it just keeps coming. Yeah, that's a fucking because it's you make a film, people see the film later on, they clap at the end of the film. That's cool. That's dope. You do anything outside, like stand-up is one of the only mediums where it's instant. Like, within that second what, how they feel about it. So,
instant feedback for sure.
And that's the thing. It's like especially with the level that we're at now, it's like we're not necessarily fully recognizable stars with the people that are on, like the Kevin Hart and stuff like that. So when you get that type of energy, or you get people saying like, yo, you're the next person, or I like you just as much as this other comedian that's a mega star, you're like, all right, I just have to keep going.
Yeah.
Any quit that you might have had in your brain, like, man, this ain't for me. I ain't making no money off this shit. That will make you 100% rethink and want to be like, all right, I can reevaluate and be like, I can do this shit for sure. Next question. Would you consider telepathy a gift or a curse? I always think about it like it seemed like it was a gift until like how he was talking about it today. It was just like, on Mob, it was just like, bro, he was saying like how he couldn't stop hearing people's like thoughts at one point.
Yeah.
And what if you don't ever get to that point where you can stop it?
Yeah, that's sick.
Like he got to a point where he can stop it. Well, some people probably get to the point where it's like it drives them insane to where they want to kill themselves, or you're hearing voices every single day, and it's like that shit sounds horrendous to go through, even for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Even for a month, to be honest with you, like I'm sitting here, y'all thinking about right now, like Keenan needs to shut the fuck up right now. I'm just hearing, you're hearing all this stuff, and the people that you might even feel like these are your friends or whatever the case may be, it's just like now you're hearing their true thoughts and looking at you like, man, you're gonna make it, and in their head it's like, man, I hope this guy fucking fails. Yeah. And it's just like, how can you even be happy?
Yeah.
And imagine this too, if like your lady's thoughts.
Oh man, imagine hitting that thing and she's just sitting like, this shit is
trash.
And you're just like, you're sitting there, you sweating, giving the work, and she's just like, yo, man, I just want to watch Golden Girls right now, and it's just like, dog, this is like this is your wife.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, I'll give it one time, right? Like, all right, cool. She might be dialing it in.
Yeah,
she might dial it in today. I get it. I dialed it in before. But it's just like if she goes, this is every time we're having sex, and it's just like, damn, man, this shit is just. I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this marriage like this.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then you can hear the thoughts of your neighbor who killing that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
but any of that, it's like that right there, having to just hear random people's thoughts. I forgot what movie it was, but it's like somebody was just like walking through and they kept hearing people. I don't know if it was like
Bruce Almighty, was it?
It might have been Bruce Almighty, but then I think also What Do Men Want or whatever that movie was.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of similar. It was just like, yo, that shit would just I just couldn't. I wouldn't be able to take it. It sounds like it'll be a gift because you'd be like, yo, I can see people are thinking. I can make deals now. I can like use it. I can manipulate them.
Yeah.
But dog, you have to get to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And also too, if you don't know it, you wake up one day with this.
You're gonna
And
think
the
you're
world
crazy,
that
yeah.
we living in, where people so quick to be like, "You're fucking crazy,"
Yeah.
let's over medicate this motherfucker, or let's put him in an asylum.
Mhm.
It's like, fuck, man. It's just like, am I tripping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I? Yeah. Would you even know if it's real?
Yeah. Rob.
I mean, I agree with what you were saying. I mean, even to the points where it's just like, there's a part of me that's like, could I use this to, as like a business thing, or like if you're trying to negotiate some good deals for yourself, and like, it would give you that inside track. But like, even then, like, I feel like you would get more knowledge that you don't want than knowledge you do want. And
Exactly.
I don't know that it would be good. And like, did you guys see, what was it, WandaVision? Did you watch WandaVision? I won't spoil it too much, but there's a character on there that gains the power to read minds, and they eventually tell somebody like, I like you. You're quiet, like, because I like hanging out with you because I can't read your thoughts. And it's just like, that's a crazy thing to just be like, everybody you're around, like, you can't shut off their inner monologue.
Yeah.
Like, like, for all the reasons you said, I just wouldn't want to hear all that. Sometimes the straight truth is too much.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Because like even sometimes you just be thinking or stuff where you're just like, I'm just thinking this, but it's not even something I really mean.
Yeah, because it's like, my therapist was telling me, he's like, everybody has automatic thoughts.
Yeah.
Thoughts that you can't even stop thinking about.
Yeah.
Whether it's about death, whether it's about loved ones, whether it's about whatever, cheating,
Yes.
whatever the case may be. You'd be like, I'm not going to do any of these things. But imagine if, like, let's say you was just sitting there looking at ass, and you're just like, man, I would dog this girl out right now in a crazy, nasty way.
Yeah.
And your girl can read your mind.
Oh, that's over with.
It's just like, I'm just saying that. I wouldn't do it, but
if
like,
she pressed up on me, I wouldn't say, well, not me specifically, but Keenan. Like, if she pressed up on Keenan not gonna hit. But it's just like,
Yeah.
he said, I would.
I would-
He's like, I'm just, you ain't gonna press me.
Here's another question.
Well, go ahead, Ice. Give me your.
I think it'd be terrible because some feedback that I get from whatever, but like I just my thought process, I'd be like, oh, that's how you really feel, and I make light of a lot of things that I shouldn't make light of. So I think when people have a certain thought process, it's like, oh yeah, you think about that, huh? And I'll make a joke of it, and that might be something, a really deep thing that they've been, struggling with, and I didn't know that they're struggling with. I just think that's a thought of theirs, so I'm just getting my jokes off, and I'm really hurting the person. So I do think that it'd be tough, man. It'd be tough, and it's just like, especially if I'm trying to sleep.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing for me. If I'm trying to sleep and I don't know if I'm dreaming or if I'm hearing somebody's thoughts, like which one, when I get in the REM and stage 4 and 5 and shit, I'm just like, what is this?
Yeah,
And I
that'd be
think that's a
rough.
different type of lucid dreaming, because it might not be as lucid as you think it is, because that's somebody's real thoughts. And then you got to kind of get up with that conversation of like, hey man, like, would you think about robbing me last night? Like, I thought you was my dog. Why would you, you was thinking about taking my PlayStation 5, big dog? Like, it ain't you that hurt right now? Like, I think it'd be tough. It'd be definitely be a curse. I don't want that. I don't want it.
It's too much.
Yeah. Next question. Rob, I think that's not Robin Ice. Well, this is not Robin Ice, is it?
No, this
yours.
one was mine, but it's. I mean,
would you rather have telepathy or telekinesis?
I mean, for me, I even talk, and this is my way of just kind of piggybacking on all the stuff you guys talked about last week. But like, even talking about like, you guys were saying, oh, if you sacrifice like a pinky, you only get like telekinesis within 3 feet. I'd take it.
Yeah.
Like, just to be able, like, I'm sitting on the couch, like I'm comfortable. I got my girl there. I got my cat in my lap. I'm just like, but I want the remote that's over there, and I don't want to get up.
Yeah.
I would kill for that ability.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, telekinesis is like, I think I said it before, probably a million times on the podcast. That's top of my list for powers I would want.
Mine too.
Absolutely telekinesis I would want.
Nice.
Yeah, telekinesis is one of my favorite powers, if not my favorite power. I'm very hard pressed to find anything outside of maybe an ice power or a flame power that would make me over telekinesis. I think that might be my top 3 is fire, ice, and obviously because of my name, and then fucking telekinesis would be number 1 because it's just fucking, I can get away and do so much.
Yeah.
And we've seen it in media in several different ways. Obviously, the biggest probably being Professor X and the stuff that, like, we have to put this man in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
We have to put him in a wheelchair because, like, bro, we got to give you something. Like, we have to give you some type of
He's got
ailment.
more telepathy than telekinesis.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think what he's, and that's true too, but I think what telekinetic people are able to do, and I wish they would, is just crazy.
You're
Even
thinking
on
like Jean Grey in the Phoenix.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And they nerfed her by just making her pass out. Literally,
like, 'cause
after
it's
every
too
single
much.
thing
Yeah.
she does.
Scott!
Yeah. And I think it is too of like it was a character on Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. I don't know if he's in any other ones, but like Kenichi, Kenshi,
I think I
like,
played Deadly Alliance.
and
That was
that's
fun.
my
Yeah.
favorite Mortal Kombat, and he's one of my favorite characters on there because again, his telekinetic powers are so fucking dope, and it's just like the hand motion is just for sauce. Like a lot of those guys don't need to do that. They just have the motion of like, oh, here, but like you can literally just chill like this and just be fucking people up. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's so dope to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after what we just said, it's telekinesis for me. I can't really, it's not really much to add, but it's just like, yeah, I'm with Robin in a sense. It's just like, oh, fuck the remote. It's really shit like this, like the remote's right there.
It's right there.
That's right there. Oh, are my cookies over there? Ah.
I gotta get up right now. Just
Let me get that up off you.
I would gain like another 20 pounds instantly the day I get.
You can just lift
Yeah.
yourself. You can lift
Telekinesis.
yourself over there. You don't gotta move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
You can do that too, yeah. I had a nasty thought, so I was.
Yeah, you just lift your girl up.
I was gonna say not even
Yeah.
just that, but it was like, yo, if you're having sex, you can just telekinesis the clitoris,
Yeah.
and just, and you
Yeah.
just you're the fucking man. It's just
That's
like
it.
that'll be like, yeah.
I wouldn't tell her I have telekinesis because she's gonna use it more than me.
You you would destroy lives that way in the
Yeah.
sexual thing. If you did, that, you
Yeah.
sitting there. He just did something. I don't know how he wasn't even touching my clitoris, but it was some reason I felt like it was somebody just DJing it, and I just
Yeah.
exploded. I'm just like,
Like,
hey,
yeah,
man, it's
man,
just
I
like
know.
I got it's a little
The one-
technique I do. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little something,
Wow.
something, man.
All right, next question. Can you watch a slice of life anime, or can an anime be funny enough that you can enjoy it if there's no action? Rob.
Well, yeah, my part of this was, can an anime be funny enough that you could watch it with no action? But in Ice's question was very similar. And again, this is a way for me to talk about what you guys talked about last week. Because thinking about the poll of like, anime versus video games versus live action.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that too.
I'd probably go with I'd probably keep live action. Number one because what Cam said of like it's kind of my job,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like I'd be out of work without that. But like as much as I really enjoy anime, as much as I really enjoy video games, like nothing compares to like the emotional highs and lows I've had with some of the live action stuff I've watched.
Agreed.
Mm.
Yeah.
It just like watching, and I was thinking about it watching Mob Psycho, where I'm like, this is one of the funniest animes I've ever seen.
Mhm.
I'm not like crying, laughing like
Yeah.
I do when I watch, some other stuff. So it's just
Yeah.
like,
Other cartoons that I've watched.
yeah, I mean,
Teen Titans Go is hilarious. It makes me
it
laugh
is
out
funny.
loud.
That is really funny. But for me, it's like I see why people like it. Like even listening to Reagan's speeches, I'm just like, yeah, like there's some truth in here, and like there's something to take from it. And I think there's like some deep moments and yada yada. But at the same time, I'm just like, all right. Like I'm getting a little bit too much into my thoughts on the two episodes, but it wasn't funny enough that I was just like, I'm glad that I spent 40 minutes to an hour or whatever, like going through all this. Like, I don't know that the juice was worth the squeeze. You know what I mean? And
Agreed.
so for a show, I think especially for an anime to like not have that action aspect, the comedy would have to be so good that I'm literally like dying laughing, or it's got moments that I'm like, man, I had to tell people about this. I'm like,
Yep.
Mob Psycho's got some good, really funny moments that have made me laugh out loud. But like even then,
To keep you for a whole season or two or whatever.
What do you think
Yeah.
is one of the not the funniest, but like off the top of your head, what are some of the funniest pieces of media that you've ever encountered?
like Arrested Development.
So
just
if they had
gets me
action
yeah.
in Arrested Development, you would.
Well, it's just, I mean,
It have to make sense, right?
yeah, it
Yeah.
would have to make sense because like, and I'm trying to think like of what was something that was very funny and also action oriented, and like I'm sure there's something I'm
Deadpool?
struggling. Sure, like Deadpool is cool, but even that, I liked the Deadpool movies, but they didn't make me like, I wasn't dying laughing watching them. I was kind of like, okay, that's funny, yeah,
Mm.
like. I chuckle here and there, but like, there's nothing in there that makes me go like, "Wow, this is crazy funny." But yeah, I mean, for me, I guess like if it's something that's super funny, I think of like an Arrested Development or like The Simpsons. Really
Yeah.
makes me laugh. Like when that's one of my comfort shows that I like to throw on. Just like, oh yeah, this will like something in the first like 5-6 seasons will usually get me to laugh.
Yeah.
Like even now, even sometimes like you watch Looney Tunes and some of
Yeah.
their older stuff, like some of those older Looney Tunes are like classic comedy bits in those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Ice.
I can't do slice of life. My some of my homies that are in the slice of life, homegirls, I should say. I don't think I have any homies that are into slice of life stuff, but some of my homegirls that are in the slice of life stuff, they like, you just need to watch one. Just watch one. I'm like, nah, I can't. I won't do it. Even if it's funny, and I love comedy, but I think there gotta be something because kind of like us in why we don't really like sports animes. There's the real version of it. We can really go watch LeBron dunk on somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
We can really go watch. I'd rather watch Keenan do a set than a funny anime.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather watch something on Kev on Stage Studio app or something before I watch a funny anime.
oh yeah, I've laughed way harder at KYD than I have at probably almost any mob episode.
Exactly. So I think just because there's other things, even if somebody said I want to commission Ice and Keenan and Rob, who is a great writer as well, to make funny anime, I wouldn't expect it. Like I wouldn't make that knowing like, oh, this is going to be better than The Office and Arrested Development and Atlanta and stuff like that. Just because how there's limitations on live action to do things, that you can do in anime or something animated. I feel like there's limitations on animated stuff that you can get away with in live action, and which makes live action funnier. So I do think that there's nothing that a slice of life anime can do that's going to make me just watch it with nobody throwing hands. There's not even a threat of hands being thrown. I'm good.
Yeah. What is the point if the comedy isn't like super strong enough to be like Family Guy is, funny. The humor strong. Like I said, Simpsons is what I grew up with, but I haven't even watched Simpsons in years.
Right.
Maybe like 5 years.
Yeah. I watched the Death Note stuff. It was cool.
Yeah, I watched the clips of the Death Note stuff also. But like, you want me to watch like somebody just like, my relationship in high school is going bad.
Yeah.
I can't watch that stuff
Yeah.
when it's live
Yeah,
action.
that's-
these
yeah.
days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's hard for me to watch that. Like rom-coms are hard for me to watch unless it's fucking really fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
500 Days of Summer. That's where my list ends and starts.
So it's like for me, it's like something about Mary and stuff like that. So it's like that type of stuff, but it's like from an anime standpoint, I watch it because the limitations that it has, the lack of limitations that it has from an action standpoint, to where you can do everything and it looks dope. And when you watch a live action, like when you watch The Matrix, the third one or whatever, was like, all right, this is clearly just CGI like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's not looking as good.
Yep.
And I think even when I watch like live action, like when it's like the Marvel movies. And when you're doing too much, it's like, this just looks. It's taking the fun out of it now for me because it's like
the biggest gripe
too
we talk
CGI.
about Black Panther. The biggest gripe for the first Black Panther is the CGI fight at the end with
Chadwick,
Killmonger and Black Panther.
Yeah, that
'Cause
was
it was so CGI heavy.
it was
Yeah.
it was rough. It was like when you watch this, like, damn, this looks like a cartoon in a sense.
Yeah.
And it's like it kind of takes you out of it, but it's like I need something there from an action standpoint. I can watch a few episodes of like if it's like you give me like a little bit of a slice of life. If you give me some good stuff up front. If you haven't, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm tapping out pretty quickly. If you start no slice of life with the first 6 episodes, I'm out of there.
Because I feel like it's one of those. I got bamboozled by a Parasite because the clip that I saw, a Parasite was when the dude went into the place.
Oh right.
The gym dude went into the place and fucked up the whole Yakuza and shit like
That's
that.
right.
So I'm like, oh, this is dope. I'm gonna watch it, and it was cool.
It was
but
fun.
it wasn't. That was the height.
Yeah.
That was the peak. So I think something like that, an anime works in the clip. I see a 60-second clip of something really funny happening. And like, oh my God, this is fucking hilarious. But when you go watch the rest of the show, it's like, oh my, all the stuff that it took to get to this point, I don't even care no more. And
Yeah.
this was it. This was the highlight.
Somebody said Two-Face Cosmo said To Your Eternity. And I watched, I believe that's the anime that I watched. People said the first episode, that was the greatest anime of all time after one episode.
Yeah.
But I watched like
and then it fizzled out.
I watched it for like 6 to 8 episodes of that show. It was good. Like it was, and they had moments where they were getting after it. But it's like I feel like that was a slice of life, but it was also something was evolving into something.
Yeah.
So it was giving you a reason to watch something more. It wasn't just like somebody waking up today and just like, I'm going to go to school today. Dun, dun, dun. It was just like this person was learning to be like a human, from an animal to a human to all this type of stuff on there. So I think that's a little bit different. But
that kind of fell off the face of the earth. Nobody's talking about it as much as they were when it came out.
I mean, when I'm on TikTok here and there, people still kind of mention it as it's still dope, but the hype is gone for sure.
Yeah.
The hype is definitely gone from what it was. I feel like I kind of want to flip these questions around to end with. I'm gonna end with the last one that I was gonna do, but one more question from. Did you erase that, Rob?
Yeah, I just erased it because we're
For time.
Yeah.
All right. So last question. With the hype behind Mob Psycho coming back, is it living up? Is it living up to the hype of the previous seasons? This is more for you guys because
you ain't fucking seen the
because
second
season 2 to me wasn't all that good. So
Yeah, because
you didn't finish it. You can't talk about the season as a whole. We've only seen 2 episodes.
Oh man.
I love that Rob
And
kind of goes back to just like shut
and
the
I-
fuck up.
I-
That's,
You
that's
don't
his
know what
energy.
you're talking about.
And
But
I
go
went
ahead, go
back.
ahead.
I was just like, man, is this like? Let me go watch season 2, some bits and pieces, because like, am I tripping? Is Keenan really missing out? And I watch. I'm like, no, he's fucking missing out.
Yeah.
This shit is hard. You're wild. You're wild. Enjoy that shirt, birthday boy.
It doesn't even fit. So anyway, for me, I would just say this. The countdown for Mob before this season started, I was kind of hyped for it. Like, it was like they kept counting down from whatever, right?
Right.
And I was like, yo, okay, Mob's coming back. Even though I didn't see season 2, season 1 was fire as fuck. So they're gonna come back for season 3, getting after it. Motherfuckers is getting smashed on. And then we're getting this
Yeah.
right now. And I don't want to go too much into that until I get into my thoughts. But right now, it's not living up to the hype, in my personal opinion. Rob?
No, I mean to me it's definitely not lived up to the previous 2 seasons, and because for me what I liked about and this kind of this even touches on the last question too, where I'm like, are there episodes of Mob Psycho that are slice of life? Absolutely yes.
Yeah.
And I think those episodes do serve a function to set stakes, to set story building, to like help you learn and care about who these characters are, and I think that's important. But what I think was successful about the first 2 seasons is they front load both of the seasons with that, where it's like you're going to get 2-3 episodes of slice of life, you're going to get like some like little one-off side missions, but like these seasons as a whole kind of build to a crescendo that by the end you're just like, oh, like things are going absolutely crazy right now.
Yeah.
Versus this was like a little like 6-episode mini arc that didn't get nearly as close to the highs of either of the first 2 seasons, and then they reset with more slice of life. These 2 episodes just kind of felt like it spun its wheels. It felt like filler to me.
Did you like the Dimple fight?
I thought the Dimple fight was cool, but like that's not anywhere close to Mob's final fight against the leader of Scar division or whatever from the end of season 2, or what he was even doing against all those dudes at the compound at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
Like both of those seasons, like those early slice of life episodes planted seeds that became important later on, I felt like.
Yeah.
And in this, I'm just like, unless these aliens come back and are like crazy war-driven aliens now that Mob, and like he manipulated them all into something, like I don't see the vision yet. And to me it felt like this was it feels a bit like a different show a little bit.
Do you feel like this is canon?
I guess so. Yeah, I mean it's
I feel like it is canon. Like I feel like when it's in season, isn't it considered canon no matter
yeah,
what?
I mean as far as I can tell, I mean from what I understand, it's not like they're having to waste time to let the manga get ahead or anything like that. Like,
Right.
Because he did Mob
years
Psycho
in the
before
making.
One Punch Man.
yeah. And so for me, I'm a little disappointed so far. And maybe in these last few episodes, it'll be worth it, and I'll look back and I'm like, oh, it was all there all along. I just didn't see it. But I right now, I'm just like, this is just it's not doing what I would want it
What's
to do.
like 18 episodes for Mob? Is it?
I think so, something like that. Maybe not that much. I don't think, because I think that for me, I think the second season was pretty short. But I'll take a look while you guys answer.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I said this on previous episodes. Like, if it keeps, like, I'm gonna give it its time, but if it keeps getting slice of life here, I'm gonna be highly upset, and I am upset. I think that the stuff with Dimple was cool. I was like, okay, we're here. He's gonna get to 100. He's gonna fight. There's gonna be that, and then it was that very briefly, but again, Rob's point, it's not. It didn't reach those same highs.
It's
So
13 episodes.
13.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it's 13, and they're still rocking with another 13. We're 8 in, which means they're going to have to get active in the next 4. If this whole season was just a big setup season, then I'm gonna be very upset. For y'all to hype it up like that, like they should do. Kind of like Atlanta did, which is like, all right, drop 3 and 4 together. If this is this slice of
Yeah.
lifey, drop 3, give us a couple months, and then come right back at us before. Like, hold on, y'all thought, hold on, wait a minute, y'all thought I was fin-
forgot.
Yeah, like I'm still a dog out here because I was talking my shit, and I did call Mob one of the goats because I do feel like of this new era, it is one of the one of the dogs out here.
Shit.
And then, I mean, after season 2, if you would have fucking watched that, you would have understood, where I was coming from. But I think this makes my, my statement a little tough to make.
I agree. I still think it's a good show. It's just it's not one of the greatest.
It's not one of the greatest, and I think for it to come out so hot those first 2, and then give us that, it's just like,
All right, let's get into our point. We got to do My Hero. Let's get into our likes and dislikes. Who wants to go first? You want me to go first? I know it doesn't matter.
No, I mean, I'll just, I kind of list, I feel like I listed out my likes and dislikes a little bit already where I'm like, yeah, there's some moments that are funny. Reagan is still Reagan, and there's certainly bits of knowledge and stuff to take from it. But at the end of the day, I'm just a little bit disappointed in where the season is going and the lack of, it's not made me feel excited. The one bit of excitement I felt was when Mob hit 100 and then it kind of plummeted when it went the way it went.
Yeah.
So, it's like, and even in these episodes where I was just like, I was noticing maybe it was a stylistic choice, but like there were parts where like they didn't even have faces and stuff like that. And I'm not usually one to complain about the animation. Like if that's the style, that's the style. But I didn't feel like, oh, they skimped on this so that they could make something look super cool in these other areas of these episodes. And maybe they're saving it for like the back couple episodes. I don't know. Again, maybe they'll come it back around and I'll look dumb, but this season has just not been living up to my expectations for it. I'll give this stretch. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 4,500.
I'll go. Yeah. To me, this is a hard watch, and I watched My Hero first, and I think that might have been a bad thing I did.
I get why.
Yeah, and I was dreading watching these episodes, especially when they wasn't picking up at all. I was like sitting there like, oh my god, this is brutal to get through. Funniest part to me was when they got there late, and Reagan got there. It was just like he was sitting there sweating. He was like, oh, you guys are here. He's like, and in his head he was like, I got here like 2 minutes before they did.
Yeah.
Oh shit, like that was funny to me. But
Yeah.
it's like, but besides that, this was tough for me to watch. It was brutal for me to watch. Mob Psycho right now hasn't been living up to the hype in my personal opinion. I'm gonna give these stretch of episodes 2,100.
what?
Damn.
Yeah,
What?
I mean I don't see why would it be higher than that. This shit was nothing to watch in these 2 episodes. These 2 episodes.
2,100.
21.
That's sick.
It's not to me. I mean, there's nothing here. This was a brutal watch for me. I sat there, laying on my couch like I can't believe.
But you pointed out a moment that was funny.
Yeah, I pointed out one moment
That was the 100.
that was kind of funny. like that was a 5-second happening. What are we talking about? No action, and then you give me a 5-second laugh. That's a
As
terrible.
a comedian, you know how hard that is to get a 5-second laugh.
Let me tell you something, man. If I perform for these are 26-minute episodes or something like that. So
Yeah.
that's almost an hour. If I perform for almost an hour and you laugh for 5 seconds only, I failed.
At
You
the
would
end,
never-
right before
you
you got
would
off
ne-
stage.
you
Thank
would
you guys. That's my time.
Y'all would never come see me again. You'll never buy a ticket from me ever again in life. It's over. I lost fans that night. And that's what Mob Psycho is doing for me right now. It's losing me as somebody who wants to like the show. Even though I haven't seen season 2, I do. Season 1 was so good to me that I still have love for the show.
Yeah.
So,
But you know what can help with this right now?
your opinion. Go ahead, Ice.
Watch it fucking
season 2.
You bastard.
Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I mean this came out the gate strong with a lot of love for Mob. I was talking my shit. This is rough. This is a rough patch. This is like, when your Super Bowl team is struggling to even make it to the playoffs this year. Rams. Well, but like that's a
Garbage.
it's a tough space to be in. We was riding the highs of the first season, and now we're here. I hope we don't stay here because I hope these next 4 episodes are something crazy to the effect of, well, I guess these next 2 before we review it again. But overall, these next 4 are just so great that it gets me really excited for season 4, and it gets me, wanting to be hyped for season 4, but then season 4 coming and it being that slugfest. And I do think if this was a setup for season 4, they could have done a much cleaner job. A much cleaner job of executing it, a much cleaner job of telling the story, and whatever is in season 4 could have been in season 3. But yeah, with that being said, I give it a 5,000.
It hurts.
5,000. That's high.
It hurts.
All right, man. So we got to get into My Hero now because we are. There's a lot of time. There's not a lot of time left actually. So let's jump into that My Hero recap. Rob.
I will remove myself for a little bit, and just give me a text message when y'all back in the building. And y'all done with it.
For sure.
Maybe.
All right, we're gonna say. I don't know if you got headphones, but you might want to put them. Here's some spoilers.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. All right. So Gigantomachia charges towards Shigaraki. Yaoyorozu does her best to lead the UA students in an effort to stop them. She and Mudman has Mudman turn the area into soft ground and starts filling the soft ground with dynamite and starts making anesthetics for all the other heroes to hopefully knock the tank out. Thankfully, the giant villain falls right into their trap, and the kids try using all their powers to pry his mouth open so they can throw the drugs in and knock him out, but he just flexes and busts out of that easily. Meanwhile, a few other students run up his back and try to put pressure on the villains hiding on him. Ayoma keeps him down with his belly button lasers, and Kaminari prepares to unleash a huge electric blast, but Mr. Compress knocks him out with the rest of his compressed cement blocks. The kids try to toss the drugs while the villains are still shocked, but Gigantomachia simply blows them all away with his breath, and Dabi adds in his flame, engulfing the forest in flames. As Gigantomachia stands back up, Yaoyorozu detonates the dynamite, creating an opening for the pro heroes to get back into the fight, including Mount Lady, who tries to pry the giant's mouth open. Covered in acid to protect herself from the flames, Ashido jumps in and throws her anesthetics, but is shaken to her core when she realizes Gigantomachia terrorized her as a child, and she fumbles the payload. Gigantomachia gathers his bearings and tosses Mount Lady and is about to kill Ashido when Red Riot knocks her out of the way, saving her. He claws his way up Gigantomachia and narrowly escapes getting smashed paws after getting the only one to get his package in Gigantomachia's mouth, double paws. Yeah. It only seems to make Gigantomachia mad, though. He transforms into a new, somehow tougher form as the pro hero Majestic uses his powers to transport in more pro heroes while evacuating the students. In Jakku City, though, Endeavor, Bakugo, and Deku and Gran Torino are shocked to see Shigaraki is still alive after the beating that they've been handing to him. The villain steals himself and his resolve and charges Endeavor, only for Gran Torino to intervene. It's costly for the old man, though, as Shigaraki hits him with a pair of devastating blows that could easily send him to a permanent retirement. He thinks back on his costly decision of his partner and possibly him disowning their child for his own protection against All for One, only for it to lead to the creation of Shigaraki. Enraged, Deku charges in and tries to restrain Shigaraki, but he blows right past him, beelines for Eraserhead. Deku and Ryuku try to hold him back, but he fights through them and punches through Ryukyu's hand to toss his one spare eraser round towards Eraserhead, hitting him square in the leg, potentially erasing his quirk. Still, Eraserhead is no slouch and instead cuts off his own leg.
No hezzy.
Before the drug can work its way through his body.
No hezzy.
None. Even Shigaraki's impressed and breaks a tackle to get at Eraserhead, grabbing his face and maiming him before Deku can pull him back with Black Whip. Todoroki has some great timing and joins the fight, hitting Shigaraki with some ice, but Shigaraki gets up and smiles, knowing that, hey, he's got access to his quirks again. At the city evacuation, the other UA kids wonder what's happening with their friends as they hear the new report that Gigantomachia broke through the hero defense and stands to trample multiple cities on his way to Shigaraki and Jakku City. In the woods, the UA students look on in horror at the upturned land where the heroes had once been, not even knowing who is alive or dead, as they could only run for their lives to get away from Gigantomachia. The giant can't even charge through the giant even charged through a medical camp where heroes were healing, and Tokoyami barely managed to save Hawks from the destruction once again. In Jakku City, Todoroki cools down Endeavor to get him in the fight, while Locke and some of the other heroes try to stop Eraserhead's bleeding. Deku, however, is enraged and when he notices Shigaraki's body breaking down from the overexertion, he runs in to face his archenemy one-on-one. The adrenaline even allows him to unlock the quirk of the 7th user of One for All, the Shigaraki's grandmother, which is Float, and he uses it to keep Shigaraki off the ground, so can't use his decay ability. The other heroes look on in awe as Deku goes ham on Shigaraki, using his quirks to hit him like a paddle ball over and over at 100% power. Bakugo looks back and thinks about how he and Deku trained for just such a moment, and how Deku is always looking to get better so he can help others. Bakugo even thinks about the conversation he had with All Might, where he admits he bullied Deku because he so easily thinks of others before he thinks of himself, and Bakugo realizes he just doesn't have that same trait, and it could be a weakness for him as a hero. So he bullied him. And he also tells All Might, hey, it's going to be harder and harder for you to hide your connection with Deku, and asks him about apparently this mysterious 4th user whose record was completely scratched out. He wonders if there's some sort of darkness in the One for All quirk, but All Might just says, honestly, I don't know. In the present, Shigaraki tries to fight back, but is completely overwhelmed by Deku. Seeing an opening, Bakugo tells Endeavor and Todoroki to hop on his back so he can get them into the fight. They fly in as Todoroki continues to cool his dad, and when they get close enough, Endeavor leapfrogs off of Bakugo and grabs Shigaraki and roasts him with a prominence burn.
Man.
Shigaraki goes blind with pain and screams as he is melted and healed over and over again. In that moment, he submits to All for One's voice in his head and lets him take control of his body. And with All for One in control, he instantly goes into a devastating quirk he had stored behind that sends blades out of his body and impales Endeavor. As the number 1 hero plummets towards the ground, All for One looks to stab Deku next. But before he even realizes what he's doing, Bakugo gets in the way, taking the hit himself, getting run through multiple times. And we're left to wonder what's going to happen to Bakugo and Endeavor when we come back for My Hero episodes 10 and 11.
Whew. Man, My Hero, as a quick recap, Rob, great job again. Man, this show is turning the fuck up, man. After all that happened, Bakugo jumping in, helping, having this flashback, literally saving Deku's life without even thinking about it. Has Bakugo turned around his image? And I already have my answer, but for you, I know you did not fuck with Bakugo at all in this show. After watching these, past few episodes, has your image of him changed? All right, has he did a good job of like, all right, he's coming into his own in a different way?
I'll say this about that. I mean, yes, but no. And it's good because I think the issue for me, it's not even just Bakugo as a character. It's kind of characters like Bakugo.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, he's kind of the Vegeta of the show.
Mm.
And it's not that I have a problem with Vegeta. It's not that I have a problem with Bakugo. I kind of have a problem with Vegeta and Bakugo fans. And that being because I feel like they take the wrong lessons from these characters.
Got you.
And I do think that he himself has become a more well-rounded character that I can appreciate more.
Mm.
But I think when people... and this is completely a generality, but especially I think when people relate to these characters specifically, they relate to their more toxic traits and celebrate their more toxic traits of individuality and I don't need any fucking help. Yeah. Step back, get off of me. I don't need anybody. Where when you look at Vegeta specifically, anytime he does that, he winds up getting his fucking ass kicked.
His dog walked.
Almost
every time.
Every single time.
Yep.
So I will say that, yeah, this does help me with my dislike of Bakugo because he's working as a team member. Yeah. And I don't want to pull an ice and say check the tape, but one of the things I believe I'd said on the podcast is like one of the only things that he could do to help redeem himself in my eyes is to sacrifice himself in a way for the greater good. Yeah. To put himself out there and realize like it's not all about throwing punches. That's not the only way you help people by being a fucking badass ass kicker all the time. There has to be other dimensions to you being a hero. And I think him realizing that and that being the reason why he bullied Deku and him realizing that does make him a deeper character that I enjoy more. Yeah. If he's just some dude that's just going to be screaming all the time about how he's the best, how he doesn't need anybody else, I'm not interested in that. And for when people grab onto those sort of things, just being like, nah, I like Vegeta because he talks shit and doesn't like to work with anybody, or Bakugo, I like him
That's
because he
stupid.
doesn't like to do that shit.
Yeah.
That's, to me, is like you're learning the wrong lessons from what the show is trying to say.
And where are you at in life? That's what I want to know. I mean, that's fair. That's definitely fair. And I do think that for me, Bakugo, I'm glad the yelling has calmed down a
Yes.
lot. Thank goodness. But yeah, I think he's starting to learn from Deku and probably All Might. Like, look, being the number one hero isn't about being the strongest.
Yeah.
And I think for him, that's what it was the whole time. It's like, if I'm the strongest, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
If I'm stronger than you, I'm better than you. It's just like, it's not necessarily that. It's like, who can save the most lives and who's caring and who do people love. Endeavor had problems with that. Essentially, that's what Endeavor was just there. Like, I'm strong as fuck. I don't necessarily have any care for anybody like that. And people didn't really fuck with Endeavor, even though he was number 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what, he was saying, like, I was kind of telling him before, it was like, yo, you have to, like, find your own way. But it's just like, the people have to love you. They're the ones that put you at number 1 in a sense. For me, I think Bakugo, his character development right now has been, from the hero standpoint, the best in my personal opinion.
Sure.
It's the most growth. The Shigaraki's character development has been crazy as fuck, too.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
But I know Deku's is not done right now, and
No.
Deku has a lot of character development that's about to happen that we haven't seen, that you guys haven't seen yet because you haven't read the manga. But his character development is about to fucking go crazy, also,
I believe it.
and it might not be what you guys expect. So, as of right now, I'm liking Bakugo right now, man. I think right now he's one of my favorite characters to watch because his smarts, his intelligence when it comes to fighting. He's doing the right things. He's taking the initiative. I feel like he's actually using his brain more than Deku right now. I think Deku right now is just going like, fuck you, I'm about to murder you for doing what you
Yeah,
just did,
I
and I gotta
agree.
smack you up. Whereas Bakugo's like, yo, I gotta do this here, let's do this here, have a little bit of a plan. So I think he has turned around, in my personal opinion.
Sure. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. So next question. Do you think some of these main characters' injuries or potential deaths will be permanent, or will they find a loophole to save them?
Oh man, I'm begging the show to just commit and lean into it and be like, "No, man."
After
It's like,
all this, you still want Bakugo gone?
yes. Because that's the thing is like this would be the perfect moment. I don't need to see anything more from him. To me, this is the purpose that he serves of it within the story. Like, am I interested in watching Bakugo get more flowery? Like, no. This is what I needed from him, to realize what his imperfections were and to realize he can't do it all on his own. That has been one of my major issues with him from the beginning. And when I think about what more would be interesting for me to see Bakugo do, I can't really think of much. Like, I don't need to see him become Endeavor 2.0. I think that's more for Todoroki. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't need to see him be, a thorn in Deku's side forever. That's not interesting to me.
That's fair.
Versus if his death propels Deku down a new road and plunges him into darkness, which to me, that's where I think he's going. To me, this seems like Deku could take this very hard. And I could see him maybe going another way where he becomes more like a Bakugo, where he's just like, everybody step the fuck back because when I tried to let other people help me, they got hurt.
Yeah.
So I to me, that is the next interesting thing for me to watch. Bakugo coming to this realization is like that's what I was kind of hoping for his character from the start. I'm still talking about the last question.
Yeah.
All that to say, I hope so. I hope they lean into it. I hope Endeavor gets up out of here.
Yeah.
I hope Bakugo gets up out of here, and I hope what happened to Gran Torino and Eraserhead is permanent. Not because I don't like the characters, but because that gives the show stakes, and it means that their sacrifice means something, or that it meant something. If Bakugo just gets stabbed up and he's okay next week, I'm just like, it would feel a little robbed of its weight to me.
Yeah. Damn. This is a hard question for me to answer because of what I know.
Because and you don't necessarily need to.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I think they're not afraid to have some stakes on this show. I think I can say that they're not afraid to have some stakes.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because if they take Eraserhead back to like Eri or whatever his name is or her name is, that can rewind time, and it's just like, oh, like I'll touch
Here
you
you
and
go,
you'll get
yeah.
all your stuff back. I'm like, that'd feel like a bit of a cop out. It would make that moment where he cut off his leg just like, well, that wasn't that big a deal because he could always just get it back.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't talk. All right. All right, next question. Do you think if we had a hero If you think if we had heroes, would there be villains in a villain society or Stain followers? So in real life, if we had real heroes, do you think there would be a villain society in the sense where they're like, we want to challenge you top notch, we want to take out the heroes, or would there be a Stain society? People just be like, yo, you're kind of in the middle in a sense where I'm not on either side. And I will ask you too, which side would you be on? Me personally, as much as I want to feel like I would be a hero all the way, I feel like some motherfuckers have to go. And I feel like heroes, their mentality is like, no, we're going to just put you in jail. We're going to trap you. Some villains got to get the fuck up out of here. And I think that's where I would end up falling into more of the Stain route, where I would probably be the guy that's like, the heroes that aren't doing it for the right reason, I ain't fucking with you either. So if I see you, I'm coming for your ass.
Yeah.
But the villains, I'm coming for your ass also.
Yeah.
The ones that are doing bad shit, and I'm not afraid to take you out. You know what I'm saying? I won't necessarily take the heroes out. If they're just doing it for like the women and the money, I ain't gonna kill them for that. But like, it's just like y'all probably be like, yo, reevaluate after you recover from these broken limbs. Do you really want to do this shit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But for the villains, because I just feel like, it's the same thing with like Batman. It's like I understand for the story of Batman and like the cartoon for us to keep watching. It's like he has to keep bringing people back. He has to keep the Joker has to keep coming back. The Joker's living for him to live in a sense.
Yeah.
Right. But for me, I'm like, nah. Like I'm getting people the fuck up out of here that need to go. Sugar, whatever his name is, however you say it. He needs all for one. Why is he trapped? I'm getting him the fuck up out of here.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
There's no, let's talk to him. He's trying to kill people, and he doesn't care. If he has a chance, he would destroy us all, including your child and your family. And I won't be to live with that. Like, I won't be to live with, like, letting this guy live. He escapes, and all of a sudden, if you had a daughter, he kills Rob's daughter because I let him fucking go.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I'm not going to be to live with that shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be to face you after that.
Right.
So, yeah, I'll probably be in that middle. I'll probably be in staying in the homies out there, to be honest with you. What about you?
I probably would be somewhere like if Stain is the middle between the heroes and the villains. I feel like I would be somewhere in the middle between Stain and the heroes.
Gotcha.
Because like I think I would definitely root for the heroes. Like I don't want people to, heroes or villains. Like I don't necessarily want people to die. But
For
like
sure, yeah.
I agree. Like there's some people where you're just like, man, I don't know what we're supposed to do with you now.
Yeah.
Like, and even in their fight with Shigaraki, like, I think they're aiming to kill. Like, Endeavor's just like, how are you still alive?
Yeah, I think Endeavor at that point was just like, yo, I'm trying to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I think Deku, he might be at a point now to where he's thinking like maybe if he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
It's like Ivan
If he
Drago.
dies,
If
he
he
dies.
dies, he dies.
Yeah.
But I don't think necessarily Deku's like, yo, I'm trying to kill you. I just think he's just like, yo, if I
Yeah.
hit you, and he's like, he did. It's just like, that's the casualty, bitch. Like I had to hit you this hard.
Yeah. But like Shigaraki, to his credit, had a really great point of like these heroes have created this world where those that are not heroes that rely on the heroes have made it worse for others.
Mm-hmm.
They've created this place where they're kind of a crutch for society where people think I don't have to be good because those heroes will be good for me. And even look back on his childhood when he was on the street, an orphan now. I mean, granted, due to his own doing, but he's an orphan on the street and he asks some woman for help or goes up to some woman. She's like, oh, some hero will be by soon and like, he'll take care of you.
It's a child,
That's
bro.
a child.
Yeah.
That's clearly lost and alone. And she was just like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and I think that's true it's gotten to a point clearly in their society where it's like, they think they're trying to protect everybody, but there's always going to be people who fall through the cracks.
Yep.
So do I think that there would be a villain in Stain society or people that would, run the gamut? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have that. I mean, not to say that there's I don't think anybody in this world is truly good, purely good or purely evil necessarily. But like, you have some people out there that like, when you think about what their thought process is or why they do what they do, just like, that is straight up evil. And I can't figure out why you would do something like that. Like even when these shooters and why they do what they do, you know, when in these public places and, even that guy that shot up that Batman showing. He thought he was the Joker. Like
Yeah.
the police went to his apartment. It was fucking rigged to explode because the dude was just like,
Yeah.
and it's clearly that he was out of touch with reality.
Yeah.
And like that is a true villain, and that's just in our regular ass world.
Yeah, and I think there's some people that are just chemically imbalanced out there. Like they just like they're just wired different. And it's just like you got some people out there that might think like Shigarashi or just like saying like, yo, some of these people aren't doing it for the right reasons. There has to be a balance. People feel like that too. It's like there has to be a yin and a yang.
Yeah.
There can't just be all this over here. There has to be the other side of it to balance it out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of hard to be like, is that wrong in a sense? I guess it depends on how you go about it.
Yeah, I mean, it is just like you can't have the good without the bad, like, and it's just like nothing will ever be perfect.
Exactly.
But it's the work to try to get there that is important.
Next question. What are your thoughts about Deku's new quirk?
Like I remember thinking like, oh, this is probably the time he's gonna get something cool. Is it definitely useful? Yes. Am I underwhelmed? Also a little bit yes.
Yeah.
Because and here I was talking with Brendan a little bit about this. I think it's a little lame that like Deku's secondary and I guess now tertiary quirks are just kind of like souped up version of quirks that his other classmates already have.
Right.
Like Black Whip is essentially just like put Tape Boy out of work.
Yeah.
Like he's gone. And this new float one, and I guess it depends on how it works exactly, but like his girl there who makes stuff float, it's like, does that now he can just float without having to hold his breath? It just seems like he got the benefits of her power without the drawbacks of it.
Yeah.
Where it's just like now she feels obsolete.
Yeah.
And how does she fit into the team when he can kind of already do what she does?
Well, I guess he can't make things float, can he?
That's where I'm a little unclear because my read when I wrote this question, when I watched it, is when he had everybody tied up in the Black Whip, by touching them, he was making them all float. But that could have just been how it was drawn, and it might be more that like, oh, he's just carrying them all with Black Whip. It wasn't that they were necessarily also floating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of confused about too. And I'm guessing, however, with all these quirks too, when once he all of them have to master it in their own way. I guess that's what kind of could be great about the writing of this show is like, even if there's similar quirks out there, you can master things differently. She might look at it like this, like his girl might be like, "Yo, I'm going to do it this way," and he might not even have it in his mind to even go that route with float if it is that similar. Same with Tape Boy.
Yeah.
Tape Boy, bro.
Forever Tape
No,
Boy. I
dude,
refuse to learn his name.
No, he sat there. He was useless. He was like, wrap around the neck, pop my tape. It was just like you were useless against fucking Gigantor, whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah.
But yeah, same thing. I think like the quirk was kind of just like, all right, well, it was timely for how it would happen.
Useful.
Yeah, for how this happened, and if he would have destroyed, like he would have just like, Shigaraki would have just hit the ground and everything would have got destroyed. It would have been a wrap. So it was useful for that time, but I necessarily didn't care for this quirk, like for real.
Yeah, and maybe I'm just misunderstanding it, and it's just the way it's worded. But like, part of me is just like, why not just give him just straight up flight? Just let him fly.
Yeah, I'm guessing one of those followers. I mean, one of those whatever has that at some point,
right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see.
So next question. If you can choose one hero to help out on the battlefield that we haven't seen, who would it be? So any hero that we haven't seen actually on this battlefield fighting, that can be Lemillion with his powers back. Like I said, that can be even All Might with his powers back. Who would you want to see on the battlefield? I don't know if it's going to be a dark horse or not, but I was going to go with Eri.
Oh, okay.
I was going to have her on there because if whoever it is, if they're attached, she's attached to them, they're now unlimited power-wise.
I wouldn't be as worried about Deku's arms as I currently am.
Yeah, I'm like, go smash, Detroit smash, whatever, 1,000 if you can at this particular point. You're going to heal. So it's just like, now break this motherfucker in half. There's that's your recovery now because he has, I mean, I guess his recovery is slow right now, Shigarachi's.
Yeah, because it sounds like he's like Deku, like because Deku did the work to get through how to use the power without hurting himself, and he hasn't done that. He's relying purely on his healing ability, which it sounds like he's overloading.
Yeah,
and he's just not able to heal as fast as he used to be able to. So he's like, I see a crack in the seams. You didn't learn how to do this the right way. You just went straight to 10 without knowing how using that kind of power works.
Which is great because right now there needs to be some type of flaw because he didn't spend all the time in that little tank anyways, right? He got out a little earlier or whatever.
Yeah, he even had some thought about like, what day is it? Like,
yeah,
I shouldn't be like this. Like, I'm feeling sick.
Yeah,
he's definitely not full cooked.
Yeah, he's definitely undercooked raw. But yeah, I would choose her just because I feel like, yeah, like you said, now if they're tossing her around, no pun intended, it's like they can use her in a sense, or mainly Deku, and I mean maybe Endeavor too if he needed to, without if he can find a way without burning her if she's attached. She could help out in that battlefield with those at least the two strongest guys like that. Who would you have?
I would go with Prime All Might because just like purely because of the battle experience.
Yeah.
He's been up against All for One multiple times and has, I mean, emerged scarred but alive.
Yeah.
He knows how to fight this guy. He knows what quirks he's got access to. He's just got knowledge that not really anybody else out there seems to have.
Right.
And I think that would just be invaluable. I mean, certainly All for One didn't have decay, I don't believe, when he was fighting All Might, but like he's just battle tested. Like
Yeah.
he's been out there. He knows how to maneuver. He knows how to do what he has to do to get through it. And
You think he takes Shigaraki out this round right here? Like it's over, it's a wrap, or you think he struggles?
I think it would be a struggle, but I think he could take him out if only because like he would be where Deku is, but like 5 moves ahead of where Deku is. Where like Deku's seeing it, I feel like Endeavor would have known about it like. As he just would have identified, like, this kid doesn't know what he's doing yet.
Yeah.
And I can play him like this. Whereas Deku is kind of a bit more, he's like maybe 2 steps ahead. I think All Might would have been like 5 or 6 steps ahead.
Gotcha.
And I think, because like even talking about like, Lemillion would be great, but he just doesn't have the battleground experience to know like what it's like to play for keeps like this.
Now I'm thinking would Lemillion be? He wouldn't be able to get touched either in the sense, but it's just like, how do you win?
Yeah.
How does he beat him? At this
I
particular
don't
point?
know. He
Yeah.
would survive, but I don't know how he would beat him.
Yeah, same here. That was that's why I didn't pick him. I was between All Might and Eerie the whole time.
Yeah.
The next question. Would you rather have All for One or One for All as your quirk?
Honestly, I think I'd probably rather have All for One, just because, like, I understand. I'm talking about people taking the wrong lessons from something. I understand what the symbolism behind, like, okay, you've got somebody that can just steal quirks,
Yeah.
and just give them away freely with no appreciation of what it takes to control them and what they really are, versus somebody that has a quirk that's literally passing down and building something over time and really trying to make something pure versus just like the quick and easy path. But quick and easy path sounds great.
Yeah. Right now, anyways.
Like you just take that, give it to other people. Like, oh, I'm not really even using this one or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that would, like, if I had to choose between that versus just like I'm handed like a pack that's just like, I mean, here you go. This is, you don't get a choice in it. You just get these, and you kind of got to figure them out. And like maybe you'll unlock some of them with some time or something.
You might even unlock all of them.
Maybe not. I don't know. Versus just like you can have whatever quirk you want. You
Right.
see something on the street that you like, you can take it.
I like that.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on this one because I'm looking at, like, first of all, did he unlock them all?
As far as I know, it doesn't seem like it.
Right.
I think it sounds like to me, and I could be wrong, from what I'm taking away from it, Deku seems to be the first one that is unlocking the multiple quirk aspect.
Right.
Because it sounds like even when they talk to All Might about it, like, hey, because I think it was last season, he's just like, hey, what did you do when these people talked to you? And All Might was like, these people never talked to me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have voices in my head and like all this stuff. So I think it's the fact that like it sounds to me like with One for All being passed down, like it does accumulate those quirks over time. Plus, like with I don't have to eat any piece of anybody with All for One, but like it sounds like it's essentially passed down and like it's all in there, but you might not necessarily unlock it. You know,
That's the thing too. It's like you might not necessarily unlock it. And what if you're the first one? You don't get the benefits of nothing.
Yeah.
You get nothing out of this shit.
Yeah.
You get to just use your quirk and that's it.
That's it.
And so like it's like if it's me, I would choose All for One too because I would just take the shit that I like and I would hone those.
Yeah.
I would get strong as fuck with those. And if I see something that's just like that's way, way, way better than another one, then yeah, I'll probably add that one instead and give another one to somebody else because you can only hold it a certain amount. I think it is.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's just like but it's like you can help your homeboys out. If somebody ain't got a quirk, it's like, hey man, now you got one. Your girl wants something. I just want a quirk where I can shop endlessly. All right, man, here's your quirk.
Here you go. There you go.
So yeah, I'm with you, man. Anybody got time for that? Anybody got time to wait for that bullshit?
I got bills.
Yeah, I got bills to pay, man. I got a family to raise. All right, last question. We are about halfway through all these shows, and it's seen so far. And out of all the 4 shows that we've been watching, Mob Psycho, My Hero, Bleach, and Chainsaw Man. What from rank them from worst to best, or like least interested, however you want to rate it in the sense.
I got you.
For me, easy work. Mob Psycho is at the bottom. It's not even 4th. It's like 25th right now. It's just like it's not interesting for me. Like I'm struggling to watch this shit. Next in line, I would go Chainsaw Man, and that's just really because like the other 2 are they literally balls to the fucking walls. They don't have to tell a whole bunch of story right now, in a sense. Like if you can just watch and they're going ham right now. There's seasons in, but I do think that Chainsaw Man is, to me, I'm still enjoying it, to be honest with you. God damn, number 2. This is where it gets tough with the top 2.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm putting this 2 is because I'm sure Cam, and if Ice was here, they'll be like, well, you gotta fucking watch. Just like if I would have watched Mob Psycho. But I put Bleach 2 because, like you said, I don't have the full backstory to care about all the characters. But goddamn, this shit has been good.
Yeah.
It's been fun to watch. And I still do have like, damn, people are dying like this. I don't have the attachment like I normally would, but it's just like I have a little bit of attachment to some of these characters, and it's fun to watch. I'm looking forward to every time this show comes on, and I missed 5 seasons or so, whatever it is. Number 1, My Hero. We watch every season, at least you and I have, and we know these characters. We know what they can do. We know what they've been through. We know who we like, who we're fans of. We're not fucking with Tape Boy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want Froggy to do some more shit, but she just over there like, is everybody all right?
Yeah. She's just hanging out.
She's hanging out pretty much. So yeah, the attachment, that's what gives it the slight edge over Bleach for me. But yeah, those 2 shows have just been like, they've been literally top-notch fucking anime for me so far. What about you?
No, I mean, I agree 100%. I would have the exact same rankings, the exact same way you put them, for pretty much those exact same reasons. I think obviously I'm still a little bit warmer on Mob than you are, but still, I mean, it's probably the bottom. It's the one that I'm least interested in based on the last few episodes we watched. Chainsaw Man, like, I'm still not really come around on Denji. Like, he's just whatever to me. I do like what they're doing with Aki and his partner who's got the ghost devil companion. She's pretty cool, and like this whole like hotel mystery I thought was pretty cool, like pretty interesting to watch. But I'm still just like, it's just not hitting that. I know some people are loving it. I'm not loving it. It's fine to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, for exactly what you said, Bleach number 2. Even without watching everything, I'm still hyped and like mouth hitting the ground like at least once an episode, it feels like. And then My Hero's just made good on all the promises so far. Like they told us like, no, season 5 is set up. Like just you wait, season 6 is gonna go crazy, and season 6 has gone crazy. It's just great. I've been enjoying it. I've been loving every episode.
King Mike Hall said Chainsaw Man is just a great time. Light also agreed, said such a great time for Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is top tier for me. He gave it an 8,500 so far. Like
I completely disagree, but enjoy it. I'm glad you enjoy it. I love love.
Yeah.
Glad you're enjoying it.
All right, let's get to the lights.
It's like Kyrie, like the thing. I don't celebrate. Enjoy your food. It's not a holiday for me. Enjoy your food.
Enjoy your food.
Enjoy your Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
It's not top tier for me, but I'm glad you like it. Enjoy it. Enjoy your Chainsaw Man.
So yeah, let's give our likes and dislikes to My Heroes. We get up out of here. For me, My Hero there wasn't a downtime for me in this show, in these 2 episodes. Just goddamn. That's what I was saying the whole time watching the shit. Goddamn. It went by fast. It felt like it was 20 minutes for both episodes combined. Yeah. That's how fast it went by for me. I really, really enjoyed it. I know people they said, you said you looked it up, and I'll let you talk about that on your recap of it. But like, yeah, I enjoyed it. The animation was good to me. The fighting was good. The stakes are high. They left us on a fucking great cliffhanger. We're excited to see what's going to happen next. Damn, man, I forgot even what I gave it last time, but this is in the 8,000. I got to give this like an 83, 8,400. 8,400, strong 8,400.
Yeah. No, I'm loving it. I'm finding it hard to find something to nitpick. I'm really enjoying the show. It's been really great. I feel like the emotional moments are hitting for me. I think they're doing great work with the characters. you know, there's certain characters I'm like, man, they're doing everything I wanted to do, and a couple other characters I'm just like, fuck, I'm so mad at you right now. You have fucked up at the worst possible time. But you know, overall, I'm really enjoying it, and it's what I look forward to every week. I've been reaching out to people that I know that gave up on it, and we're just like kind of fell off, whether it be at the end of season 4 or somewhere in season 5. I'm just like, no, you got to go back. You got to go back. I promise you, it is worth it. It is worth it.
I hit Damon Wayans Jr. After watching it yesterday. I was just like, yo, Damon, have you been keeping up? He's like, yeah, I think I tapped out season 3 or whatever it was. I said, you need to get the fuck back on.
You need to go back.
And he was like, yeah, people have been telling me to get back on.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's been good. To me, this is I genuinely neck and neck with what Bleach has been doing every single week. That's just for me. But no, this is I don't remember what I gave Bleach last time. I think it was something in the 8,000s. I gotta keep consistent. This is in the 8,000s. I give this an 8,500.
Yeah, I can't. There's no argument with that score to me. It's been amazing. I forgot, what did you give Bleach last time, Cam? Those last two.
It's like 83.
83,
85,
yeah.
Sure.
It was around that same too, I think, for me also. Super high. But yeah, man, leave your scores, your likes and dislikes of those 2 shows that we watched this
All right,
week.
let Ice know it's safe.
Oh yeah. Let us know. You wanna drop your handles? Yeah, you don't drop.
Yeah,
it.
I don't really have.
Yeah, Ice
Those
Time
are
McGowan on
drop.
every single thing. Bitch ass Brennan on every single thing. Make sure you follow. Make sure it's at bitch ass Brennan on every single thing. Stickman Studios for Killer Cam back there. Who you got for us as a
You know, shit. I don't know that I got anybody, but I will say,
You need some time to stall. You need to, or I can say whatever.
no. I mean, I don't know. Just
Keep following us, man.
keep following us. Check out the Patreon. Hope everybody enjoyed their holiday time. I did, because I didn't find an artist. I was having a good time with my loved ones and enjoying the holiday. So I hope you did the same and find some time to do that.
Yeah, Keenan Baker on every single thing, man. Make sure y'all just keep supporting us. Support that Patreon, patreon.com/Animeshun. Support our solo stuff, Keenan Baker on every single thing, man. Please support us. We really appreciate it. And I know we say we're the greatest fucking anime podcast in the world, and we truly believe it. But help us get there. Spread the word, spread the love. Let people know. We have a dope podcast here. We really do. We put a lot of effort into this to give you guys these weekly episodes and and to give you this content. So please spread the word out there. I feel like we should be a top 5 anime podcast out there, to be honest with you. I've heard some other ones, and not to shit on them, but I just feel like we do something a little bit different and more fun and more entertaining. So spread that word, man. Animeshun, SHUN out in this bitch. We'll catch you next week. We will be doing Bleach, 1,000 Year World Blood War. Damn, take 7. Bleach, the 1,000 Year World, the 1,000
It's
Year
a lot
Blood
of words
War.
in
Yeah,
there.
the
Just call it
1,000 Year
Bleach.
Blood
Just call it
War.
Bleach. Just say
Bleach.
Bleach. We're good.
The last season. And we'll be covering Chainsaw Man those next 2 episodes. So see y'all next week on another episode of Animeshun. But it's a bitch. We out. Bye.
And so anime was solved forever.